water over there. There's gloves on the table. If you'd like some, just help yourself. The bags and the popcorn server thing is underneath the popcorn machine. So, well, it's good to see, well, most people's faces. What we're doing tonight is we knew we weren't going to have a lot of turnout of people. Actually, there's more of you than I thought was going to show up. What we've done and what we're going to do in the future is we went out and purchased our camcorder here. So we're going to go ahead and record our meetings for now.
Sorry, Jeff.
And Billy, Christina's other half, I wouldn't say better half, right? That'd be a bad idea. We'll edit the videos and we're going to open up a YouTube channel. Down the road, we'll see about going live. Okay, it's nice doing this outside. I know everybody was worried about the temperature, but I don't know, right now in the shade, it's still not too bad. Next month, this won't work. It's just going to be too hot unless Councilwoman Stark says do it outside.
Don't put it on me.
Oh, you're laughing. That means we won't be doing it outside. But down the road, I think it's kind of nice. In the fall, instead of doing it out inside, let's come out here and do it. One thing we've already learned is that the projector doesn't work very well in the sun or in the shade. So right off the bat, I can see we're going to be looking into getting a medium-sized TV where we can put a TV up here and you'll be able to see that. We can get one for a decent price sometime. So anyway, to get going here, I don't know if you can see it, but our flag is up there. What a better time than standing up and joining me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, okay, real quick here, let's do our introductions. We got over here by the trailer. Has everybody seen our trailer? Whoever hasn't seen our trailer and our setup, that's what our grant money, one of the things our grant money goes for. It's so nice to be able to just hook up and take all our stuff someplace instead of loading it, loading it, and unloading it again. Fred got tired of doing it, so we bought a trailer. Thanks, Fred. Appreciate the help, dude. We love you. It's good to see Fred and Margaret again through all this craziness. We have Christina over there. She is one of our secretaries, and her other half, Billy, he is our, what's your technical title? Mr. Technician? Yeah, Billy's going to be doing all our video editing, and he's the sound guy, the PA guy, the camera guy. I just take credit for it. Okay, and then, do we have any first-timers here? First-timers. Who are you? Where are you from? Where'd you hear of us?
We live on Butler, over there, near A Street. Eileen is my wife, and I'm Ed. And we saw you on Facebook and kind of watched, and we somehow knew there was a meeting tonight.
Well, we are the largest, and I would say arguably the most active neighborhood association block watch in Phoenix. We have a lot of people that have done a lot of terrific things. Butler speed study and other things is on our radar and already in process. So, okay, who else do we have? We have our treasurer, Miss Chelsea, over in the back. We have Miss Julia. Bugs. Julia is our captain on Selden. We have Leticia on El Camino. We have Grace Stuckey over here. She has the little subdivision up there, little couple blocks up by 16th Street and Northern. Anybody else I'm missing that's on the board and captains? Okay. And, of course, everybody knows our Councilwoman Stark and our Senator McGee, who will be up here in just a little bit. So real quick, this is a bummer you can't see this. I spent a whole, but right now it's, what have we been up to? Okay, since everybody kind of fell off the radar. Well, a couple of things we have done with Senator McGee, Councilwoman Stark, and for those of you who showed up over there, we did the blood drive. We helped out a little bit over there in Carl's Bakery parking lot. Got a little bit of heat for it, but you'll see when we put the slides in the video that it was not about bringing people together. It was about getting blood. We didn't have people together. There was more media there than there was people at any one time. You know, so everything that has been going on, that we've been doing, that our elected officials have been doing, has been with the social distancing in mind. Okay, another thing that we did was we had a parade through Sunnyslope. You know, and it was funny because I was driving my truck with all the lights and all the stickers and stuff, and I was pulling the trailer. I had the loudspeaker on the car, on top of my car, and I was going first, screaming and yelling in the microphone, and behind me was the police car, about a block and a half behind me. How many cars do you think we had? I don't know.
About 12.
12, 15, something like that. Yeah, you know, Hatcher Urban Businesses was there, another group here in Sunnyslope. Norton Vista was there, Phoenix Love was there. So this isn't, what we do is not just about our area, it's about Sunnyslope in a whole. But we concentrate on our area, Dunlap to Northern, 7th Street to 51. And we work with these other groups. So the parade was another thing we did. And then one of the things that we helped out a little bit on, very little bit, and all the credit goes to Lily at Norton Vista. I don't know if you guys have seen the mural that is across the street from the swimming pool at the high school on Dunlap. When you're going, it's on the north side of Dunlap. So look at that. Look at the mural. What they did was, and we have a video of it once we get our YouTube channel up, that will be on the YouTube channel, and if anybody wants it, we'll be happy to give it to them. They ended up with about 25, 30 graduates that didn't have a graduation this year, so they got the kids together, and then they actually they paid a professional artist to also come in and kind of put the finishing touches on this really cool mural to the graduates of Sunnyslope or any school for 2020 that unfortunately didn't get to have a traditional graduation. So it was that was a lot of fun too. So those are just a few of the things that we've been doing as a community quietly behind the scenes, okay? Social distancing always is a part of it too, okay? So what we got coming down the road here is YouTube, okay? See YouTube? Not really. We're going to open up a YouTube channel. Okay, all these meetings that we do, all the events that we do, we're gonna post on YouTube. Okay, with Billy editing out all my mistakes, please. Like but what we can do is we can do other things too. Like right now, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but our city, our police are not able to be at these. So our community actions officer can't be here. I talked to him today, and he'll be on the phone in just a minute. But we can do a YouTube video for the CAOs. The CAO can do a presentation. Krista Roy, our neighborhood services specialist, she can do a presentation on NSD. So it's always there for everybody to see and get the information from. Okay, not that they're not coming back. It just might be a little while before they're able to get back. Okay, they just have to. A lot of people, we're all playing follow the leader right now. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that we're going to do on YouTube. Okay, the Gated Alley pilot program. We got 2 submitted. I haven't heard anything back. But I think things have it's fair to say they've slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, but
You know, because everybody's working from home. We have 2 of them submitted.
I have a meeting on Thursday about it.
There's a meeting Thursday about it.
A virtual meeting, but
A virtual meeting. Now, is that a public meeting or
It's with the city.
internal?
City staff.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sure we'll hear about it. Fred?
Yeah, Jeff, I had somebody come in today in our alley and dump some mattress off right back by wall.
Oh. Well, and just like, yeah, you're right. And it's just like the illegal dumping, you know, just like the burglaries that we've talked about in the past. 90%, 95% of it all is from the alley entries. It's, you know, and it's still moving, but, you know, it took us a while and then we got it going. But I think things right now have slowed down a little bit. And I'm sure Councilwoman Stark will talk about some of the funding here in a minute and how things might shift or whatever is going to go on. But that is still in gear. Okay? Everybody, still, we need captains. Okay? Until we have a captain on every single block, I'm going to keep pestering everybody to be a captain. Okay? A captain is you get a little bit more of a voice. Not that yours doesn't count, but other than this meeting, we also have every month a captains and a boards meeting. Well, the captains and the boards, they decide what we put in for our grant money. You know, they're the ones who collectively say, yes, let's get a trailer. No, let's not get a trailer. You know, let's get a video camera. Let's not get a video camera. What projects are we going to do? What things are we going to tackle and attack? So anybody that knows anybody, if you can't do it yourself, because it is a commitment, but it's a commitment at your personal level, how much you want to get involved. Okay, and in future meetings and events, just like everything else, right now it's fluid. Like I said, this is pretty nice outside. I don't know if we'll be able to do it inside next month, if we can find a little bit bigger venue to spread out a little bit more. Because we have a decent sized room where we can hold 100 people, but we're standing in there like that. Probably not the time to do that yet, you know. So we'll see how that's going. I'm sure we're still going to do cleanups, you know, because you can do cleanups in social distance, you know. We'll still do things. Slope Fest is our big event that happens every April. And I've talked to a couple people, we're already thinking now about what that's going to look like a year from now. We have to start thinking about this stuff. Okay, and then for everybody who doesn't know, you know, we have a celebrity who always shows up stylishly late. Nadine in the back. Nadine is with 3A Automotive and is one of our sponsors and is the co-chair for the Hatcher Urban Businesses. Smile for the camera.
Hello!
Okay, and now I am going to, just in case anybody, oh boy, has any questions, real quick, I am going to dial up Officer Morgan. The Officer Morgan is our CAO, Community Actions Officer. Let me get him on speaker and turn him up. Hey, you there?
Yep.
Hey, we're here. You know, we miss you right now. We have 347 people here.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's just unbelievable.
Just broke a world record.
Yeah, we just set the world record. You know I'm lying. But anyway, I got Officer Morgan on the phone, and I talked to him earlier today. Hopefully, in the not-so-distant future, they will be able to come back to our meetings and give us police updates. And he said to have me give him a call. That way, if anybody has any questions, we can just go to them right now, okay? And then one day, whether we do this live stream through YouTube or one of these websites, I'm not Mr. Techie, that's what I have Billy for, you know, then he might be able to join those too. So he was telling me earlier today, and correct me, Matt, if I'm wrong, they have been out taking care of a ton of complaints, okay? That they've had. How long did you say your complaints were for? You had 80 on the books?
Yeah, when we started tracking these the 1st of February in a different way, so we had 80 on the books since that time in the 62 area, and we've knocked out about 75 of them.
Okay. He's saying in the 62 area, which is our area up here, since February?
That's freeway to freeway, so I-17 to 51, and basically Peoria to Glendale.
17 to 51 Glendale to Peoria is roughly the 62 area. Since February, they've had 80 complaints, okay, and issues. And since the COVID thing started, and they are able to do more community actions police work, you know, they've knocked off 75 of them. You know, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And yes, I know, I'll talk for him. I know he misses coming and seeing us, but at the same time, it's a good side to that coin. You know, they're actually out there getting stuff done. There is a house over here on 11th Street in Dunlap who was taken over by transients, and Officer Morgan worked it, got hold of the owners, got rid of the transients, got it signed up with no trespassing signs. Did he put an authority to arrest on file?
It should be.
Okay, with an authority to arrest on file, they're gone, all is well. They have also been out in the last couple weeks, they've done 2 nighttime patrols, our CAOs, which is one of the things that as communities we've been asking for quite a while. They hit Palma Park, they hit all the parks throughout the 62 area, okay, if not more. And what'd you say, Matt, at Palma Park, when you did one of them, you got what?
Last Wednesday night we had 4 people in the park. Norton was empty, and then we had, a little distance away we had people in the other parks. But as far as it affects you guys, the basin was empty, and Palma Park had 4 people staying in it after hours, after 10 o'clock last Wednesday.
Okay, so last Wednesday they were doing it after 10 o'clock. He's saying that Palma Park, which is right there, hi Palma, after hours they did have 4 people in the park. Whether they were cited or not, I don't know right now. They were talked to, they left. The Basin Park over here, literally right behind us over here, has looked really, really good. Really good lately. Yes, we have the transients up there by Lenore and Townley up there, and Officer Morgan, they keep going by, but there's nothing there yet that they're not impeding a thoroughfare, they're not on the sidewalk, they don't have structures set up. So until that happens, there's not a whole lot that they can do. But we can keep an eye on them and let Officer Morgan know.
And also, I want to give credit for our Drug Enforcement Bureau, because in your area, I looked it up since I had time to look, so they've served 4 search warrants in your general area or just outside of it, on 12th Street Hatcher, 11th Street Neva, there were a couple of them, and over on Sierra. So 4 warrants have been served by our drug enforcement officers, which means undercovers have been going in, making drug buys, and serving warrants.
Okay, what he's saying is he's giving a shout out to the drug enforcement team that in our specific general area, including over by Hatcher and 12th Street, but right up in this corner. And what time frame's that, Matt?
Those have all been served since right when a lot of this stuff started. So a lot of those warrants have been served since beginning of March.
Okay, so since the beginning of March, 4 very successful search warrants on drugs in the area. That's huge. That's a big one. So does anybody have any questions for Officer Morgan on the police side or the police front? Anything at all? Julia?
Yeah, it's not a question, it's a comment about the Basin Park. I usually walk my dogs about 5:30 in the morning, and when I walk through the Basin Park, there's people sleeping at 5:30 in the morning.
Where at? On the bottom or on the hill?
No, they're not in the grassy part, they're like hiding among the bushes.
Okay. Hey, Matt, Julia just saying she walks her dogs about 5:30 in the morning. And in the Basin Park, not on the grassy part, but like up on the hill a little bit, there's folks up in there sleeping. They're hiding them up amongst the bushes.
Okay, so they're probably bedding down like after we come through, so they're getting there late at night after midnight or something.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were there about 1 in the morning last week and nobody, so they're probably coming in after that and then bedding down.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have our 3rd shift guys work on that in the bike squad.
Okay, he's going to relay that to 3rd shift in the bike squad. FYI, when we see them in there like that, 602-262-6151.
But they're
They're
allowed,
trespassing
Crime stop.
before 5:30.
Pardon me?
They're trespassing if it's before 5:30 a.m.
if it's 5:30 a.m., it's trespassing.
if it's before 5:30.
Okay, if
Yeah.
it's 5:30 or after, they're low.
Yeah. So is 5:30 the actual time, Matt?
Yeah, most all city parks, 5:30 is the opening, and then every city park, there's varying times from 10 to 11, actually 7 to 11 at night, for the various parks closing.
Okay. So yeah. So rule of thumb is going to be 5:30. So, Billy.
Hey, I did want to ask him about. I saw a lot of new graffiti down close to Griswold on 10th. They got the yellow signs, the left, right. I don't know if that was
okay.
him or not. But.
Yeah, we have more graffiti. I know that Christina removed some the other day, but Griswold and 10th Street, there's some new tagging. If you get in the area, and I'll send you a picture too. I'll drive by there when I leave.
Okay. And anybody can call Graffiti Busters, and they'll come out and fix it too.
Yep, straight through NSD. Yep.
And also too, we had a drug complaint, 12th Street Wagon Wheel. We were working that, and it was really dead. And I thought that seemed kind of strange, so I did some more research. I can't take credit for this one. The suspect was trying to do a home invasion in another part of Phoenix, and he was killed. So that one kind of took care of itself.
Okay, did everybody hear that? Okay, what happened? He can't take credit for this, but in the area of 12th Street and Wagon Wheel, they were doing an investigation for drugs, right?
Yeah.
For drugs. And all of a sudden, it just stopped. Well, so Officer Morgan did a little bit of investigation, and the suspect, who apparently lived at that house, was doing a home invasion someplace else in Phoenix and met his demise. So that drug house just solved itself.
That went away.
Yeah, good way to put it.
And if you want to let them know, we're trying to establish an overflow lot at 10th Avenue south of Hatcher.
Yeah, there's St. Vincent de Paul has been an issue for Sunnyslope for a long time, but they are trying hard to change their reputation. They're working on an overflow lot at 10th Street and Hatcher, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's at the 10th Avenue and Hatcher. It's at the end, like an overflow lot. Instead of these folks that don't have any place to go, going into the parks or camping out in 3A Automotive behind their back wall, they can go into this overflow lot. Okay, and that would be monitored by St. Vincent de Paul.
Yeah, and PD. So if things can happen, but we're still in the early stages.
Yeah, being monitored by PD at St. Vincent de Paul, and this is still just in the talking arena, but that's one of the things that they're working on too. And anything in that arena helps.
Where would the lot be at the end?
I can't hear you.
Where would the lot be?
10th Avenue and Hatcher.
Right there?
The vacant lot right at 10th Avenue and Hatcher.
Yep, at the dead end, yep.
At the dead end.
At the dead end.
Yeah, there's a vacant lot back there with fences around it. So it wouldn't be like on Hatcher Road where everybody drives by and sees 40 tents set up. So, yeah, exactly. So anybody got anything else for Matt? For Officer Morgan? Sir, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
All right,
Good luck, you guys.
hope to get you back soon.
That was good.
All right, bye. Yeah, we got awful lucky that we got Officer Morgan as a CAO. He was on the bike squad for years. He's phenomenal police officer, phenomenal human being. We are so lucky. So, okay, next on the agenda here, talk to Chris Leroy, our neighborhood services specialist today. And some of the things that a couple things she told me was that they have been working really hard with the police. Another good time, because people don't understand how important neighborhood services in our police department are, how close they work together. And they have been working together a lot through this COVID thing. They have cleaned up just a slew of encampments. They've gotten some houses boarded up, and they've been taking a lot there. What she asks us to do, continue to report Blythe, graffiti, anything like that you see around here, please report it. And promote and encourage neighborhood activities. when we do the parade, when we send out emails, not just for us, but for other Sunnyslope, groups too. Support those. Talk to your friends about them. Get involved. And to know anything that's going on with neighborhood services on Facebook, and I'll make sure that this gets in the minutes. On Facebook, all you got to do is at Phoenix Neighborhoods. If you type Phoenix Neighborhoods, one word, in Facebook, and SD's website will come up on there. Okay, it's a lot of fantastic information. So with that, now we are lucky enough to have two of the most outstanding elected officials, in Arizona and Phoenix with us. Okay, so first up, what we're going to do is we're going to have Councilwoman Stark come up and tell us what she's been doing through all this, and if you got any questions, fire away. Be careful.
Thank you.
Hey, you probably could.
Take my mask. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. This is kind of an interesting meeting. I've had a few neighborhood meetings via WebEx or Zoom, like Hub does a WebEx meeting, so that's been pretty interesting. So what's going on at the city? We're having constant meetings. Every Tuesday we have a policy meeting. We were given by the federal government $192 million to work on the COVID-19 issues. And so we've been looking at that money and ways to fund and help. It has to relate to COVID-19. However, our council has sent a letter to all of our Congress people and senators asking them to reevaluate that money. We could actually use some of that money to help pay for some of the services that the city provides. But if it's not related to COVID-19, we can't use the money. So we're going to keep pushing our higher elected officials to reevaluate that. I think the state is as well, because you're also restricted by the COVID-19. So we've been taking the money and we've been looking at issues. One of the first issues we looked at was homelessness. And we set aside a lot of money and actually are trying to take the people most vulnerable, most likely to get COVID-19, and we've moved them into some motels, which has helped us clean up the homeless tents around the Human Services campus downtown. It's done a lot of good. The county helps with us to set up a overflow shelter that meets all the CDC guidelines for homeless campuses. So that was kind of interesting, but it was one of the first things we had to deal with, because we've got to make sure that that population is being served. Then we looked at some money for arts. There's a lot of artists out there that really provide quality to what we do, and they're not getting any jobs right now, so we set up grant money for them so they can continue to do projects in the city. We also looked at all of our businesses, especially our small businesses, and we've set aside quite a few $1 million worth of money in grants that you can apply at through our website, phoenix.gov/resources. And I would really encourage you to go look at that page, because there are quite a lot of grant opportunities, whether you're a restaurant or some other type of small business. For example, my hairdresser is a small business, and during this time she lost a lot of business, but she kept paying her rent to her salon to help the owner of the salon. I mean, this really is kind of a trickle down, and so she now is applying for a grant to help subsidize some of the income she lost during the time they were shut down by the governor. And I'm not picking on the governor for that. I mean, I think it was probably the right thing to do. So if you have an opportunity, if you have a small business, or if you know someone that's a small business, we've set aside over $10 million in different types of grants. Some for restaurants, some for micro businesses, some for smaller businesses. It depends on the size of the business. So the money's going quickly, and so I've asked the mayor to maybe reevaluate, and maybe we add some more money to that. We also set up a program if you are out of a job and you need to pay your utilities or pay your rent. We have some grant money to help you pay utilities and help pay your rent. Most of it goes to residential, But we set aside about 5 million for commercial. The rest is again for residential, and that's about 20 million. You know, a lot of people are out of jobs right now. I took a tour of the airport a couple weeks ago. I've never seen anything like it. Usually the airport's just hustle and bustle and full of people. There was nothing there. Almost every little restaurant and gift shops were closed. All those people are on furlough right now, and they're obviously collecting unemployment. So we're trying to make some money available so they can meet some of the needs while they hopefully get their jobs back or look for other jobs. So we're really trying to help our population. We're going to talk next week about our parks and what we're doing with that and how we're reopening up our parks. Slowly but surely, we're going to reopen the pools. We're starting a new program in the libraries. It's called Grab and Go. So you can actually reserve a book and go in and grab it and off you go. So we're trying to find creative ways so that you can still really appreciate the services that the city of Phoenix gives you, but in a very safe way. Because I don't think we're really out of the problem. It's going to take a while. My brother is a respiratory therapist and my sister-in-law is a nurse, and they're working 60, 80 hours a week. It's just non-stop work, especially for my brother because he is a respiratory therapist. It's just a tough time right now. It's kind of sad because he was hoping to retire and maybe work 20 hours, and now he's working 60 and 80 hours. So didn't work out the way he wanted to, but he really is committed to trying to help in his hospital. So what I want you to do is think about what we may be lacking. How can we help the public? How can we help with services? I mean, we're still delivering the services we do. Police and fire are out there. Your trash is getting picked up. Recycling is being taken care of. NSD is out working on various issues of neighborhood blight. They do it in a new way. A lot more through communication via telephone and letters and whatnot. But we really have most of our departments working. Some are working remotely. Some can do that. Like our finance department, they can do a lot of number crunching at home, and that's good. But they're still making sure that we're paying our bills, that we're managing our stock, our bonds rather, and so we really are trying to keep the city moving, and we really want to make sure we're helping you guys out so that you can still enjoy at least a hike or going to a park. It is really important. We do have a lot of money still set aside from the money that was given to us, and we're holding on to that right now in hopes that Congress will reevaluate the way they're looking at the funding they're giving jurisdictions, whether it's a state or a city or a town or a county. So hopefully we can convince them that we actually need some of that money to operate, because we're starting to see a big dip in revenues. As you know, we rely on sales tax, and people just aren't out shopping. The restaurants are shut. We rely, believe it or not, on a bed tax and rental car tax. No one is renting cars, and we don't have a lot of tourism. So we really are hurting. So even if you have a chance to talk to your congressman or your senator, please implore them to look at the way they did this funding for COVID. I think it's really important that we reevaluate how we got the money. I'm glad we did, and we're doing a lot of good things with it, but clearly we need to look at operations for the city as well as the state. You have a lot of state agencies. I know you're in the same boat. The county, same thing. The county actually is our public health agency, and we have been working very closely with the county. Supervisor Bill Gates, who used to be your council member, is staying in constant contact with. Look into that as well. Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Hi.
Well, I just want to thank you guys, because I know you guys have been really busy, all of these city officials, state officials, so I really thank you guys for
Oh,
all
thank
that
you.
you've been doing, going out and doing all this hard work and having to adopt these new ways. But I also wanted to ask about the schools, because I know on Facebook I had a friend, one of my daughter's friend's mom, asking to sign a petition to continue online school. She's scared to send her daughter to school, like when they start up. I don't know if
So that, as cities really don't get involved in education, so I'll let the senator, I will tell you, we have a liaison that works with schools, but it's mainly for pedestrian safety. We have traffic engineers that work with the schools, police, they work with the schools, with resource officers. So that's more of a Kate question.
I didn't know if any of that money was,
Well, we have some money as far as educational, it would probably relate to libraries. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's always an honor to be here. I got to tell you, I really appreciate it. This is the best part of my job, is being with people. I'd rather be meeting with you guys all day long as opposed to some of my other council members.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We always love to have you guys here. Real quick, before I introduce Senator McGee, I want to touch on something that Councilwoman Stark said about education. For those of you who don't know, Scholars Academy, which is a charter school, is working on coming right here to this location. They were using that building right there and a portion of this building. And I've talked to them recently. Their letter of intent, if I'm saying this correctly, will probably come in July. Okay, well, with that, for our neighborhood and our community, one of the big deals with a charter school coming in here is they do draw from the public education census, from the students. Okay, and for our area here, Desert View Elementary is our school, where most of our elementary kids go, which is a K through 5 school. Years ago, Senator McGee might even know more about this than me, but Royal Palm, which is on Butler and 19th, our middle school, was hurting for students because they have to keep the censuses balanced, just like anything else. So they moved the 6th grade over to Royal Palm. Well, one of our arguments as a community, and I put, I don't know, like 5 kids through that school. I have one there now, and I have one more to go that starts kindergarten there. So it's personal to me. It's our neighborhood school. But what they have done, I've been talking to Paul Stanton a lot, who is a pretty phenomenal guy. He is he's the head of Washington Elementary School District, and they haven't done it officially yet, but they are going. It looks like they are going to be pulling 6th grade from Royal Palm back to Desert Elementary. I know though that they have staffed the school, both schools, for that. Do you know more about this?
No, there's a Facebook meeting coming up, a virtual meeting.
That's when it'll be official. So what it looks like is going to happen, just for FYI, is like my son is in 5th grade right now, going into 6th grade. He'll have the option to stay at Desert View Elementary for 6th grade or go to Royal Palm for 6th grade this coming school year. After that, it's not an option. It'll be Desert View.
Royal Palm.
Royal Palm. No, it'll be Desert View. It's coming back to Desert View. So since I'm the parent, I get to make the rules. He's staying at Desert View Elementary School. It's huge because Desert View is a small school. And with a charter school and opening up in the area, you never know what happens. So that's going to help balance the census and make sure that we still have a school. And truthfully, 11-year-olds, their mentality, they're just not ready for that atmosphere yet. So personally, I'm so excited for my son. So since you touched on education, I thought I'd throw that out there. So anyway, next, without further ado, Senator Katie Brophy McGee for the state money issues. I'm going to go this way.
It is so wonderful to see real people. Thank you. So very quickly today, the legislature, last Thursday, the House finished up, and today the Senate finished up, for real. The Senate has sine died, which is end of days. That means end of session. We've called for it twice, and today we finalized it. When we did it right when the crisis hit and we shut down, we've got a lot of older Senate members. We did the one thing we are obligated to do, and that's to adopt a budget for the following year so the agencies don't shut down and do that kind of thing. We did that. And that was back in March. And then the plan was to come back. We had a lot of money at that time and fight for our budget priorities. Well, since then, the state has gone into the hole somewhere between 1.1 and 1.5 billion dollars in about 60 days. What we had before that was $1 billion in the rainy day fund, and we had about $700,000 in one-time cash, and we had about $300,000 or $400,000, $400 million that we could spend on ongoing. That's all gone. But as part of that, what was called a skinny budget, we finished funding out the 20 by 2020 for the teachers. We've funded more formula funding for K-12, kept everybody else the same, and cut some of the one-time spending. And it looks like by the time we got back, there was no money left to fight over. Another thing that we did was to continue, do some basic government agency continuations, like the Department of Health Services. That was my bill this year. And we stuck $55 million onto that bill from the rainy day fund and told the Director of Health Services, spend that on COVID-related emergency relief. As part of the budget that we adopted, the skinny budget, the one-time budget, we appropriated, with the help of my Democratic colleagues, $50 million for the governor to spend on emergency COVID-related needs. And that included things like housing assistance, I have a whole list of it, list of those types of things. And he has been spending that money, the Department of Health Services has been spending that money, and they have those dollars available to address budget issues. So today we finished up for good. Now, what that means is we're not gone for the year. We will be back, and there's a lot of misunderstanding, I don't know about around here, but out in the Twitter land, about what closing down shop and going away means. It means we either can, with a 2/3 vote, call ourselves back into special session to address issues, or the governor, and that's more typically how it's done, the governor would call us back into special session, and we are going to have 2 to 3 special sessions between now and the end of the year to address, for instance, business liability. Businesses want to open back up. Schools want to open back up. Government wants to continue functioning, but they're very, very afraid of COVID-related liability suits. The Arizona State Constitution says you cannot abrogate personal liability. So it's unconstitutional to say you can't sue somebody. So we have a very difficult cliff that we need to navigate to try and provide some assurances to businesses, governments, schools, churches, nonprofits, that when they open their door, they won't get slammed with lawsuits. Because that's a big part of how we get back to living our lives. So I'm sure there will be one around business liability and economic development. Budget, we're going to have to address budget. I took a lot of heat about there being $1 billion sitting in the rainy day fund. I am so grateful for that, because we are not immediately starting to cut. One of the things that is not clear to the budget prognosticators right now is, where do we land? When does the free fall stop? When do we stop sliding? And so we don't have that clarity, so we don't really know. We do have a cushion with the rainy day fund, and we do have businesses reopening and things starting back up, but it's going to be slow. We have a lot of work to do around nursing homes and nursing facilities. We have learned terrible, terrible things with this virus. It preys upon our older, more vulnerable citizens, and we have to figure out a way. That's a personal initiative of mine as Health and Human Services Chair. How do we keep our nursing homes, our assisted living facilities, our developmentally disabled homes, group homes, congregate care? how do we keep those residents safe going forward? And hopefully let them still have a life. So there are task forces that are being formed around different subjects, and obviously business liability being one. Nursing homes is something that Tyler Pace, Senator Pace, and I are pushing for. During the interim, while we weren't in session, messing around with your wallets, as the joke goes, I've been very, very busy with constituent concerns, constituent needs. I can't get over the fact that over 600,000, in less than 60 days, 600,000 applications for unemployment have been filed. The average call per day now to the Department of Economic Security is between 70,000 and 120,000 calls a day. So if you are getting hang-ups or disconnects, I am so sorry. They have ramped up their team. They have trained their team. They built a whole new software system to handle the federal pandemic unemployment assistance, which our software system couldn't even comprehend. They've done a lot of work, but I do have a list of constituents who've reached out to me. Deb's referred me a couple, Supervisor Gates has, neighborhood leaders have, and we do follow up on your behalf, and I'm just very, very sorry. The volume is overwhelming. Somebody was asking me, is there enough money to hire the people? Yes, there is enough money to hire the people, and their team has grown to over 700. We went from 3% unemployment to 17% unemployment, and it went like that. During the Great Recession, we never got this high in terms of the numbers, and certainly not with the speed. So look on my website, katemcgee.com. It has a COVID-19 resources for small businesses, unemployment. I've collected as much information as I can around COVID crisis questions and needs. Please check that, or just reach out to me directly or call my office. Everything from travel ID, because you do need to have your travel ID finalized, I think in October, or you don't get to fly to other countries. So I've had a whole uptick in travel ID questions. Business help, I really have to give a shout out to Hatcher Urban Businesses, Nadine and Caroline. They have assembled a massive small business help resource. Everything from Local First to the Phoenix IDA grant funds to the Arizona Small Business Association. So thank you, thank you. It's in times like these that working with our partners, just people you know, people you love, it makes it bearable. It makes it doable. It makes it possible. I send Deb help requests. I send Supervisor Gates requests for help. We work together, and it's really been amazing and wonderful to have those kinds of working relationships, because people are very, very much in need. And I cannot thank neighborhood leaders like Jeff and you all enough for all that you've done to kind of keep everybody up and going and try to do things for our community. Regarding schools, the governor and Superintendent Kathy Hoffman have worked together extremely well, and they are continuing to work together. Superintendent Hoffman has put together a task force around school reopenings. Their first meeting was a week and a half ago. They're expecting to have their recommendations out by the end of this, middle of this next month. There is, and it's been left up to school districts and schools as to whether or not you're going to continue online or whether you are going to reopen and take people back in. The idea being that some parents are not comfortable with that, some teachers are not comfortable with coming back. This virus doesn't seem to impact children as much, although they can certainly be asymptomatic carriers. The very, very tiny percentage of children it does impact, it's a pretty big impact, but the bulk of it is with older individuals with compromised immune systems, whether you have diabetes, high blood pressure, I'm sure you all know that. So they're really focusing on what does coming back to school look like. The universities have already said we're going to open. I think classrooms are going to be staged very differently. I think, but they're not there yet. They don't know. So just bear with me, and as I get the information, I will put it out. But I'm talking to a lot of education thought leaders about things we could do to get information out to parents. Parents want to get back to work. Parents are extremely worried about their kids going back to school and being safe at school, and educators know that, and they are working on it. I'd be happy to answer any questions or give me ideas for things I need to go back and track down. So, yeah.
Do me a favor, throw the numbers out there again for the state, for the surplus and to the deficit we went to.
So we had $1 billion in the rainy day fund, just sitting there in case there was a rainy day. We had over $700 million in excess cash that we had generated for this fiscal year that was available to spend. And we had to commit to ongoing expenses or a new program going forward. We had about $400 million. And it's all gone. When we adopted our budget, we did fund the balance of the 20 by 2020 and the district additional assistance funding formula. So we put I'm trying to think, it's about $300 or $400 million into that for K-12. But in the meantime, the budget guys are telling us that we're about $1.1 billion to $1.5 billion in the hole.
Wow.
I know.
That's why
But-
Congress needs to help us.
As far as what Congress is doing, I think they're evaluating another package. They're certainly evaluating some fixes around the PPP, the small business loans. One of the problems that has arisen is that with the pandemic unemployment assistance, which is $600 a week, it's $15 an hour. So as restaurants open and try to call their employees back to work, and the employees are saying no, because I'm making more being unemployed. So there are some glitches around that. While Arizona has one of the lowest unemployment benefits, 240 max per month or per week per individual, it still works out to about $21 an hour for some, with the pandemic, the federal money. So it's created a glitch as far as businesses wanting to go, people wanting their people to come back as they have opened their doors. And it is a problem. So I'm hoping we can do some reforms around there. I know the governor of Ohio, DeWine, just did. I need to go back and track that down because we want people to be supported and we want people to be fed and safe, but we also want them to come back to work. So, is that? Yeah? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I didn't even check emails, but you didn't hear back from them. Okay, but our home of the month we'll go over anyway is Shane and Keith at 13th Street in Alice. So once you get up in the neighborhood up there, is the sign still over there?
No.
Okay, so keep your eyes open for this house. That was our last home of the month. Going forward, we'll see how we're going to do it next month if we do a meeting or what have you. Okay, and for our sponsors, and not only with our sponsors, right now, like Senator says, it's hard to get people to come back to work. But these business owners, especially the small business owners, they need our help. You know, if you can spend money, if you have anything to spend, go to dinner. Go get your car tuned up. Change your oil, whatever we can do. And keep it in Sunnyslope, sorry. You know, don't worry about Black Mountain. Let's keep it in Sunnyslope. Hey, I had to. So, but our sponsor, we have Bay's Auto on 7th Street over here in Orchard Lane. We have 3A Auto and Diesel with Nadine in the back. And a lot of people say, well, why do you have two, you know, car shops? Because they feed off of each other, they work together. Okay? They don't compete with each other. That's how businesses succeed. Okay? Home Arizona with Pat Harvey over here. If you're in the market for real estate or whatever, talk to Pat. Okay? He knows everything there is to know about Sunnyslope. Okay? And our Armored Mini Services, if you're looking for storage, and especially one of my favorites is Northern Mountain Brewery. They've been one of our sponsors since our inception 4 years ago. So spend as much as you can spend. Get out there. The cash stopped. Okay, we got to get it going again. It's not easy, but we got to get it going again. I mean, like your Councilwoman Starr say, the revenue just went off the cliff like everything else. So let's do our part to get it back up there. Okay, and next we got tickets. We got tickets. Okay, and we have, pick one of these up on the way out. It's our chip clip that unfortunately Becky Perch is no longer with us. She has moved to Colorado, but this was her thing. It's got our logo on there and our phone number. So pick one up and clip a chip or chip a clip or however you say that. Okay, we got two giveaways over there. One is Phoenix Police letter opener. It's kind of cool. I mean, most people don't open letters anymore, unless it's your water bill. You know, so, but it's actually really cool. And the second one we have is it's the one in a white box about that tall. It's a lantern. Really neat one. Okay, so did everybody get a ticket? Okay, and first timers, Fred wins everything. Okay. Okay, so Fred, if you don't win, I'll give you your 20 back. Okay. So the first one we got is, oh boy, like I can see that. Last three are 825. 825. Somebody got to have 825. Nobody's left yet. Hey, you got 825, Carol?
Not either. Here, you can check it.
Over there. We got one more. Miss Andy, our other secretary, I got to get hold of her, the doctor she works for, because he keeps her way too late on Tuesday nights. Yeah. Okay. And last, for whichever one Carol doesn't take, is 814. Ah, you got me, Fred. Well, she's going to give it to you anyway. That's Margaret. Good job, Marge. So, hey, does anybody got anything they want to throw out, suggest, ideas, thoughts? Now's the time. Carol.
I got to read, but what's going on with the gated alley situation?
Oh, gated alley.
The gated alley situation.
The gated alley, they're having a meeting on Thursday, and we'll find out more about it after that.
Oh, you are? And so I got her signature today.
See, and the police doing a flyby, just for us. Councilwoman's laughing at me. Anybody else got anything? Okay, stay tuned. Watch your emails. You'll get this YouTube link hopefully sometime within the next week or two when we get this stuff online. Stay tuned for next month. What's going to happen? We'll figure it out, but we will do something. We're not just going to roll over and not make a difference. All right, talk to you guys soon.